Good morning, everyone. Today, let us look at something very fundamental yet often overlooked. Every human being, man or woman, longs for appreciation, for recognition, for a simple word that makes them feel seen. But in this game of life, there is something that most men deeply wish to hear, yet only a rare woman ever says it. A man does not just seek love, he seeks acknowledgement of his efforts, his struggles, his silent battles. He does not always express it, but he longs for one simple thing: to be told, "I trust you." This is not about dominance or control. This is about the very nature of how masculine energy operates. A man thrives not on endless admiration, but on deep trust. If a woman simply looks into his eyes and says, "I trust you," not just as empty words, but with absolute sincerity, you will see the man transform. His shoulders will straighten, his spirit will ignite, and he will go to the ends of the world to make things happen. But why do only 1% of women say this? Because trust does not come easily. Trust requires vulnerability. It requires letting go of control. It requires seeing beyond mistakes and failures and recognizing the core of a man's being. A man is not perfect, nor does he need to be. But when he feels trusted, when he feels that someone sees the intent behind his actions rather than just the results, he rises beyond his limitations. He does not just become a better man, he becomes unstoppable. So for those who understand, let this not just be a statement, let it be a way of being. If you can offer trust, not out of blind faith, but out of conscious recognition, you will not just have a strong man beside you, you will have a man who is empowered to be his highest self. When we look at relationships, we often think that love is the most important thing. We believe that if we love someone, everything else will fall into place. But love, as we commonly understand it, is often expressed through emotions, care, and affection. While these things are important, there is something that men deeply crave, but rarely express: acknowledgement. A man may not always say it, but he wants to be seen, not just for who he is, but for what he does. He wants to know that his efforts, his struggles, and his sacrifices are recognized. Love can make a man feel warm and comforted, but acknowledgement makes him feel valued and respected. This is the difference between making a man feel good in the moment and giving him a sense of purpose and fulfillment. From the time they are young, men are taught to be providers, protectors, and problem solvers. Society places a great deal of expectation on them. They are expected to be strong, to handle challenges, and to take care of the people around them. But in the midst of fulfilling these responsibilities, many men feel invisible. They work hard, they endure struggles, they try to fix things, but they rarely hear, "I see what you are doing and I appreciate it." A simple word of acknowledgement can change everything for a man. It can make him feel that his efforts are not wasted, that his struggles are worth it. It gives him a sense of purpose beyond just existing in a relationship or a family. Many times, men keep pushing forward despite exhaustion, stress, and pressure. They do it because they feel it is their duty, but when no one notices, it can make them feel unappreciated and unimportant. In many relationships, women express love through care, affection, and emotional connection. They believe that if they show love in these ways, a man should feel happy and fulfilled. But love and acknowledgement are not the same. A man may feel loved, but if he does not feel acknowledged, he may still feel empty inside. He may not be able to explain it, but there will be a sense of something missing. This is because deep down, a man does not just want to be loved. He wants to know that what he is doing matters. Think about a man who works long hours to provide for his family. He may not complain, he may not show that he is tired, but inside, he longs to hear, "I see how hard you work. I appreciate everything you do for us." These simple words can lift the weight off his shoulders. They can give him the strength to keep going, not because he has to, but because he knows his efforts mean something. Similarly, in a romantic relationship, a man wants to feel that his actions are valued. When he takes the time to fix something, when he makes an effort to plan something, when he goes out of his way to make his partner happy, he does not just want love in return. He wants to know that his effort is noticed. If he feels that nothing he does is ever enough, or that his actions go unnoticed, he may begin to withdraw, not because he doesn't love his partner, but because he feels unappreciated. Acknowledgement is not about praising a man for every little thing he does. It is about recognizing his effort and making him feel that his contributions matter. It does not have to be dramatic or exaggerated. Even a small, genuine statement can make a difference. When a woman says, "I trust you, I appreciate you," or "I see how much you do," it has a powerful effect on a man. It makes him feel that he is not just existing in the relationship, but that he is making a difference. One of the reasons why acknowledgement is rare is because people assume that men do not need it. Many believe that men should just do their duties without expecting appreciation. But the truth is, acknowledgement is a basic human need. Just as women want to feel loved and cherished, men want to feel valued and respected. It is not about feeding their ego, it is about giving them the motivation and energy to keep going. A man who feels acknowledged will naturally give more to his relationship. When he knows that his efforts are seen and appreciated, he will have the desire to do more. He will feel encouraged to be a better partner, a better father, and a better man. On the other hand, when a man feels that nothing he does is ever enough, he may slowly stop trying, not because he does not care, but because he feels that his efforts are meaningless. In many cases, men do not ask for acknowledgement because they fear looking weak. Society has conditioned them to believe that they should not need validation, but just because they do not ask for it does not mean they do not need it. Many men suffer in silence, feeling unimportant and unseen, even in relationships where they are deeply loved. If we truly care about the men in our lives, whether they are our partners, fathers, brothers, or sons, we must learn to acknowledge them. We must make an effort to notice their struggles, to recognize their contributions, and to let them know that what they do matters. It does not take much. Just a simple word, a moment of appreciation, a genuine thank you can make all the difference. At the core of every man, there is a need to feel that he is making a difference. He wants to know that his presence and his actions have meaning. When he receives this acknowledgement, he feels empowered, motivated, and fulfilled. He becomes stronger not just for himself, but for the people he loves. So if you want to see a man truly shine, give him love, but also give him acknowledgement. Let him know that he is seen, that he is valued, and that what he does makes a difference. In doing so, you will not only make him feel appreciated, you will inspire him to be the best version of himself. There are many words that can make a man feel good, many words that can make him feel happy or loved. But if there is one thing that has the power to truly touch his heart and change the way he feels about himself, it is hearing the words, "I trust you." These words are not just simple sounds. They carry a deep meaning that can make a man feel strong, capable, and valued in a way that nothing else can. Trust is not something that can be forced. It is something that is given freely, something that comes from deep within the heart. When a woman tells a man, "I trust you," she is not just speaking. She is giving him something precious, something that can change the way he sees himself and the way he moves through the world. A man might hear many compliments in his life. He might be told that he is strong, handsome, or intelligent. But these are just surface level things. They may make him feel good for a moment, but they do not touch him deeply. Trust, on the other hand, goes straight to his core. When a man knows that someone truly believes in him, it fills him with a sense of purpose. It makes him want to rise to the occasion and be worthy of that trust. Many men go through life carrying a silent burden. They feel the weight of responsibility, the pressure to provide, to protect, to solve problems, and to keep everything together. They may not always express it, but deep down they long for someone to see their efforts, to recognize their struggles, and to believe in them. They do not just want to be loved, they want to be trusted. When a man is trusted, it gives him confidence. It tells him that he is capable, that he is strong enough to handle whatever comes his way. This is not about feeding his ego. It is about giving him the support that allows him to be his best self. A man who feels trusted will push himself harder, he will take on bigger challenges, and he will feel inspired to be a better partner, a better father, and a better man. But trust is not given lightly. Many people struggle to trust because they are afraid of being let down. They want to feel safe, to be in control, to know that things will always go their way. This is why so few women actually say these words to the men in their lives. They may love their partner deeply, but they hesitate to let go of control and fully trust him. Yet, when a man feels that he is not trusted, it can create distance in a relationship. He may feel that no matter what he does, it is never enough. He may feel that he is always being doubted, that his decisions are questioned, that he has to constantly prove himself. Over time, this can make him withdraw, not because he does not care, but because he feels that his efforts are meaningless. On the other hand, when a woman says, "I trust you," it brings a shift. It tells the man that he is seen, that his intentions are understood, that his efforts are recognized. It does not mean that he is perfect. It does not mean that he will never make mistakes, but it means that he is given the space to be himself, to lead, to take responsibility without fear of being doubted at every step. Trust is one of the most powerful gifts a woman can give to a man. It is what makes him feel deeply connected to her. When he knows that she trusts him, he will go to great lengths to protect and cherish that trust. He will do everything in his power to prove that her belief in him was not misplaced. He will become more careful, more responsible, more dedicated, not because he has to, but because he wants to. A man does not want to feel controlled or constantly monitored. He does not want to feel like he has to fight for every decision he makes. When he is trusted, it gives him the freedom to act with confidence, to take risks, and to grow. And when he grows, the relationship grows as well. But trust is not just about the big things. It is in the small, everyday moments. It is in allowing him to make decisions without second-guessing him. It is in letting him handle situations in his own way. It is in believing that he has good intentions, even when things do not go perfectly. When a man feels this kind of trust, he does not just feel happy, he feels deeply connected to the person who trusts him. One of the biggest mistakes people make in relationships is thinking that love alone is enough. But love without trust is fragile. It creates a relationship where one person is always questioning, always doubting, always needing reassurance. This does not create closeness. It creates distance. True closeness comes when there is trust, when a man knows that no matter what happens, his partner believes in him. There are many ways to express trust. It does not always have to be through words. Sometimes it is in actions. It is in letting a man take charge of something without interfering. It is in stepping back and allowing him to solve problems his own way. It is in showing faith in his decisions and his ability to handle things. These small moments of trust build up over time and create a bond that is unbreakable. Of course, trust does not mean ignoring red flags or blindly believing everything. Trust is not about being naive. It is about recognizing a man's character, understanding his intentions, and giving him the space to be himself. When a man knows that he is truly trusted, he will rise to the occasion. He will work harder, love deeper, and commit fully. But when trust is absent, even the strongest relationships can struggle. A man who feels distrusted may begin to feel like he is always walking on eggshells. He may feel that no matter what he does, it is never enough. Over time, this can create frustration and distance. This is why trust is not just important, it is essential. It is the foundation on which a strong relationship is built. Without it, there will always be doubt, fear, and insecurity. But with it, there is strength, stability, and deep connection. When a woman tells a man, "I trust you," she is giving him a gift greater than love alone. She is giving him belief, confidence, and the strength to be his best self. These words have the power to transform not just the man, but the entire relationship. Because when a man feels trusted, he does not just love more, he becomes unstoppable. There is something deep within every man that drives him forward. It is not just about being strong or confident. It is something more fundamental. It is the energy that makes him want to take on challenges, to protect, to build, to lead. This is what we call masculine energy. It is not about being aggressive or dominant. It is simply the natural force that pushes a man to take responsibility, to create, to achieve, and to stand tall in the face of difficulties. But this energy does not exist on its own. It needs something to support it, to nourish it, to help it grow. That something is trust. Without trust, a man's energy becomes weak. He may still try, he may still push forward, but inside he will feel uncertain, restless, and disconnected. On the other hand, when a man is trusted, his energy comes alive. He feels strong, capable, and ready to take on anything that comes his way. Trust is like fuel for a man. It gives him the strength to go beyond his limits. It makes him feel that his efforts are worth something. When a man knows that the people around him, especially the ones he loves, trust him, he feels a deep sense of purpose. He does not just act for himself. He acts for those who believe in him. This is what makes him move forward with confidence, even when the road is tough. Many men go through life feeling like they have to prove themselves over and over again. They feel like they have to earn respect at every step, that they must constantly show that they are capable. This constant need for validation can be exhausting. What a man truly wants is not to keep proving himself endlessly, but to feel that he is already trusted. When he feels trusted, he no longer acts out of fear of failure. He acts out of a deep desire to do his best. Imagine a man who is always questioned. No matter what he does, there is doubt. If he makes a decision, someone second guesses him. If he takes a step forward, someone asks if he is sure. This kind of environment slowly drains his energy. It makes him hesitant. It makes him doubt himself. He may continue to push forward, but inside he will feel weaker and less certain. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine a man who is trusted. When he speaks, people listen. When he makes a decision, his loved ones stand by him. When he faces a challenge, he knows that the people around him believe in his ability to handle it. This kind of trust does something powerful to a man. It makes him rise. It makes him feel that he has the strength to take on whatever comes his way. It fills him with confidence and determination. A man who feels trusted will naturally become stronger. He will stand taller, speak with more confidence, and act with more certainty. He will feel a sense of responsibility, not because he is forced to, but because he wants to. He will want to protect, to provide, to create, not because it is expected of him, but because it is in his nature. When he is trusted, his energy flows freely and he becomes his best self. But when trust is lacking, everything changes. A man who feels distrusted will begin to shrink. He may still try to be strong on the outside, but inside he will feel smaller. He may begin to question his own decisions, second guess himself, or avoid responsibility altogether. He may lose motivation, not because he does not care, but because he feels that no matter what he does, it will never be enough. Trust is not just something that makes a man feel good. It is something that gives him life. It is what allows him to operate at his full strength. When he is trusted, he feels that he has a purpose, that his presence matters, that his efforts are seen and valued. This is what allows his energy to thrive. One of the reasons why trust is so important for masculine energy is that it gives a man a sense of stability. Without trust, there is uncertainty. And when a man feels uncertain, he cannot move forward with confidence. He becomes hesitant, unsure, and restless. But when he is trusted, he feels grounded. He feels a sense of certainty that allows him to act with clarity and determination. Many people do not realize how much trust affects a man. They think that as long as he is loved, as long as he is supported in other ways, he should be fine. But love without trust does not have the same effect. A man may feel loved, but if he also feels doubted, questioned, or controlled, his energy will not be free. He will not be able to fully step into his strength. When a woman trusts a man, she gives him something precious. She gives him the space to be himself, to make decisions, to take the lead without fear of being undermined. This does not mean that she has to blindly agree with everything he says. It does not mean that she should ignore his mistakes. Trust is not about pretending that someone is perfect. It is about believing in their intent, in their strength, in their ability to learn and grow. A man who is trusted will naturally become more responsible. He will take his role seriously, not because he is being forced to, but because he wants to honor the trust given to him. He will think carefully before making decisions. He will push himself to do better, and he will be more committed to those who believe in him. On the other hand, a man who is constantly doubted will begin to lose interest. He will feel that his opinions do not matter, that his efforts are not seen, that his leadership is not valued. Over time, this can make him pull away, not just emotionally, but also mentally and spiritually. He may still be present, but he will not be fully engaged. Trust does not mean that a man will never make mistakes. It does not mean that he will always get everything right. But it means that even when he stumbles, he is given the chance to rise again. It means that even when things do not go as planned, he is still believed in. This kind of trust is what allows a man to grow into his full potential. There is a reason why some men thrive in certain environments and struggle in others. It often comes down to trust. When a man is placed in an environment where he is trusted, he will flourish. He will become stronger, more capable, more determined. But when he is in an environment where he is constantly doubted, controlled, or second-guessed, his energy will begin to shrink. He will feel less sure of himself, less motivated, less alive. Trust is one of the greatest gifts that can be given to a man. It is what makes him feel whole. It is what allows him to operate at his highest level. When he is trusted, he does not just feel good, he feels unstoppable. He feels that he can take on any challenge, face any difficulty, and rise above any obstacle. If you want to see a man truly shine, give him trust, believe in him. Let him know that you see his strength, his ability, his intent. When he feels this kind of trust, he will naturally rise to the occasion. He will push himself harder, love deeper, and commit more fully. Masculine energy is like a flame. It burns bright when it is fueled by trust. But when trust is missing, that flame begins to flicker. If you want a man to be his best self, do not just love him, trust him. When you do, you will see him transform. Not because he has to, but because he wants to. Trust is one of the most valuable things in life, but it is also one of the hardest to give. People want to trust, they want to feel safe with others, but something holds them back. Trust is rare because it is not just about believing in someone, it is about allowing yourself to be open, to be exposed, to take the risk of being let down. Trust requires vulnerability, and for many people, that is not easy. To trust someone means to lower your guard. It means letting go of control and believing that another person will do the right thing. But the moment you trust, you also become vulnerable. You are giving someone else the power to affect your life, to influence your emotions, to make decisions that could impact you. This is why trust is not something that is given easily. It takes time, it takes courage, and it takes a willingness to accept that things may not always go as expected. Many people have been hurt before, and that makes trust even harder. If someone has been betrayed, lied to, or disappointed in the past, they will naturally become more cautious. They will build walls to protect themselves. These walls may keep them safe, but they also keep them isolated. They may avoid getting too close to others because they fear being hurt again. They may question every action, doubt every word, and hold back even when they want to trust. But trust is necessary for any real connection. Without trust, relationships become weak and full of doubt. People may still stay together, but there will always be an invisible distance between them. They may talk, they may laugh, but deep down they will not feel completely safe with each other. They will always hold something back. To trust means to take a leap. It means to say, I believe in you, even when there are no guarantees. It means allowing yourself to depend on someone else, even though you know that there is always a chance they might let you down. This is not easy, and that is why so many people struggle with it. They want to trust, but they also want to protect themselves. They want closeness, but they are afraid of being hurt. Vulnerability is uncomfortable. It makes people feel exposed, weak, and out of control. But without vulnerability, trust cannot exist. You cannot truly trust someone if you are not willing to let them see the real you. You cannot expect trust from others if you are not willing to give it in return. Trust is a two-way street. It requires both people to open up, to be honest, and to take the risk together. Some people try to control everything in their lives to avoid getting hurt. They want to be sure of everything before they trust. They want proof that someone will never hurt them, never disappoint them, never make mistakes. But life does not work that way. No one is perfect, and no relationship is free from challenges. Trust is not about finding someone who will never make a mistake. It is about believing that even when mistakes happen, the other person's intentions are good. Trust also requires patience. It cannot be forced or rushed. It grows slowly, built through actions over time. It comes from consistency, from honesty, from showing up again and again, even when things are difficult. When trust is broken, it takes even longer to rebuild. A single lie, a single betrayal can destroy what took years to create. That is why people guard their trust so carefully. They know how fragile it is, and they do not want to give it to the wrong person. At the same time, living without trust is not a good way to live. A life without trust is a life full of fear, suspicion, and loneliness. When people refuse to trust, they keep themselves locked away. They may think they are protecting themselves, but they are also missing out on deep connections, on true love, on real friendship. Trust is what allows people to experience closeness, to feel safe with each other, to know that they are not alone. Children trust easily because they have not yet been hurt. They do not hesitate to believe in others, to open their hearts, to depend on the people around them. But as they grow, they learn that not everyone can be trusted. They experience betrayal, disappointment, and loss. They begin to build walls, to question people's intentions, to hesitate before opening up. Some people never fully recover from this. They carry their fears into every relationship, always expecting the worst, always afraid to let anyone in. But trust is not just about avoiding pain. It is about allowing love, connection, and support into your life. It is about giving people a chance to show that they are worthy of your trust. It is about recognizing that while trust makes you vulnerable, it also makes you stronger. It allows you to share your burdens, to lean on others, to feel safe in the presence of those who care about you. For trust to exist, there must be honesty. Without honesty, trust has no foundation. People need to be truthful with each other even when it is difficult. They need to communicate openly, to share their fears, their doubts, their hopes. They need to show that they can be relied on, that their words and actions match, that they mean what they say. Trust is not just about believing in someone, it is about knowing that they are real, that they are not hiding who they are. When trust is present, relationships become effortless. There is no need for constant suspicion, no need for endless questioning. There is a sense of peace, of security, of knowing that you are safe with another person. But when trust is missing, everything becomes a struggle. Every word is questioned, every action is doubted, every moment is filled with uncertainty. Without trust, there is no stability, no foundation, no real connection. To build trust, both people must be willing to be vulnerable. They must take the risk even when it feels uncomfortable. They must be willing to believe in each other, even when there is no absolute guarantee. This is not easy, but it is necessary. Without trust, relationships become empty. With trust, they become strong, deep, and meaningful. Trust does not mean ignoring red flags. It does not mean being naive or letting people take advantage of you. It means making a choice to believe in someone based on their actions, their consistency, their honesty. It means giving people the space to prove themselves. It means recognizing that trust is always a risk, but it is a risk worth taking. The reason trust is so rare is because vulnerability is difficult. People want certainty, they want guarantees, they want to be safe, but trust is never completely safe. It always comes with the possibility of disappointment. The only way to truly experience trust is to accept this risk and move forward anyway. Life without trust is a life filled with walls, but life with trust is a life filled with connection. The choice is always there. Will you hold back, keep your guard up and live in fear? Or will you take the risk, open your heart and allow trust to bring you closer to others? The answer to that question determines the depth of your relationships and the quality of your life. Trust is not about perfection. It is not about always making the right decisions or never making mistakes. A man does not need to be perfect to be trusted. What matters is his consistency, his honesty, and his willingness to do his best, even when things are difficult. Many people think that trust is only given to those who never fail, who never stumble, who never show weakness. But that is not true. Trust is not about expecting someone to be flawless. It is about believing in their intentions, in their effort, and in their ability to learn and grow. No one in this world is perfect. Every man has his struggles, his challenges, his moments of doubt. He may try his best, but there will be times when he makes mistakes. There will be moments when he does not have all the answers. There will be times when he falls short of expectations. But this does not mean that he is unworthy of trust. Trust is not built on perfection. It is built on reliability. A man who can be counted on even in difficult times is worthy of trust. He does not need to have all the answers, but he needs to be willing to face the questions. He does not need to be without flaws, but he needs to be honest about them. He does not need to always be strong, but he needs to keep moving forward even when things are hard. People often make the mistake of expecting too much. They look for someone who will never disappoint them, who will never let them down. But such a person does not exist. Every man, no matter how strong or capable, will have his weak moments. There will be times when he is unsure, when he struggles, when he does not live up to expectations. If trust is only given to those who never fail, then no one will ever be trusted. What truly matters is a man's heart, his integrity, his willingness to do the right thing. A man who is honest about his flaws, who takes responsibility for his mistakes, who learns from his failures, this is a man who can be trusted. He does not pretend to be perfect, but he does his best to be better. He does not hide his struggles, but he faces them with courage. When people demand perfection before they trust, they set themselves up for disappointment. They will always find a reason to doubt, to question, to hold back. They will never truly feel safe because they are waiting for something that does not exist. But when they understand that trust is about consistency, not perfection, they can begin to see a man for who he really is. A man does not need to have everything figured out. He does not need to be the strongest, the smartest, or the most successful. What matters is that he is reliable. If he says he will do something, he does it. If he makes a mistake, he owns up to it. If he does not know the answer, he is honest about it. This kind of man may not be perfect, but he is trustworthy. There is a difference between trust and blind faith. Trust is based on actions, on character, on a pattern of behavior. Blind faith ignores reality, pretending that a person can never do wrong. True trust allows for mistakes, for growth, for imperfection. It is not about believing that a man will never fail. It is about believing that when he does fail, he will get back up and try again. Some people withhold trust because they are afraid of being hurt. They want proof that a man will never disappoint them before they open their hearts. But trust does not work that way. It is always a risk. There are no guarantees. The only way to know if someone is trustworthy is to give them the chance to prove it. If a man is never trusted, how can he show that he is worthy of it? Trust is also about forgiveness. No one can go through life without making mistakes. If every mistake leads to distrust, then no relationship can survive. A man should not be judged by a single failure, but by how he responds to it. Does he take responsibility? Does he learn? Does he make an effort to do better? If the answer is yes, then he deserves trust even if he is not perfect. When a man is trusted, he feels a deep sense of responsibility. He does not take it lightly. He understands that trust is a gift and he does not want to break it. This does not mean he will never fail, but it means that he will do his best to honor the trust given to him. Many men carry the weight of high expectations. They feel that they must always be strong, always be in control, always have the answers. This pressure can be overwhelming, but when a man is trusted despite his imperfections, it lifts a heavy burden from his shoulders. It allows him to be real, to be open, to be human. A man who is trusted does not need to pretend. He does not need to put on a mask or hide his struggles. He can be honest about who he is. This kind of trust creates deep, meaningful connections. It allows people to truly know each other, to support each other, to grow. On the other hand, when trust is only given to those who appear perfect, relationships become shallow. People hide their true selves, afraid of being judged, afraid of being rejected. They put on an act, trying to meet impossible standards. But real trust cannot exist in a place where people are afraid to be themselves. Trust also brings out the best in a man. When he knows that he is trusted, he feels motivated to live up to that trust. He wants to be better not because he is forced to, but because he values the faith that has been placed in him. He works harder, he makes wiser choices, he strives to improve, not out of fear of failure, but out of a desire to honor the trust he has been given. When trust is missing, a man may feel that nothing he does is ever enough. No matter how hard he tries, he is always doubted, always questioned. This can make him feel defeated, unmotivated, disconnected. But when he is trusted, he feels empowered. He feels that his efforts matter, that he is seen, that he is valued. This encourages him to keep going, to keep growing, to keep striving. The strongest relationships are not built on perfection. They are built on trust. They are built on the understanding that no one is without flaws, but that does not mean they are unworthy of belief. A man who is honest, who is responsible, who is willing to learn. This is a man who can be trusted even if he is not perfect. Trust is not about ignoring mistakes. It is about seeing the bigger picture. It is about recognizing that a man's character is not defined by a single moment, but by the choices he makes over time. It is about knowing that even when he stumbles, he is still walking the right path. A man does not need to be perfect to be trusted. He only needs to be real. He only needs to be willing to grow, to take responsibility, to do his best. When trust is given to a man like this, he will rise to the occasion. He will prove, not through words but through actions, that he is worthy of it. And in doing so, he will become not a perfect man, but a truly trustworthy one. Trust is one of the greatest gifts a person can give. When a man is trusted, something inside him awakens. He feels stronger, more capable, and more determined to prove himself worthy of that trust. Trust is not just a belief in someone's ability. It is a sign that they are valued, that they are seen as reliable, that they are given the space to take responsibility and lead with confidence. When a man knows that he is trusted, it changes how he sees himself. Many men go through life feeling like they constantly have to prove themselves. They are often judged by their achievements, their ability to provide, or their strength. But when someone trusts them deeply, without doubt or hesitation, they no longer feel the need to fight for approval. They feel secure, knowing that their efforts are recognized and appreciated. Trust is not about expecting perfection. It is not about believing that a man will never make mistakes. It is about knowing that he has good intentions, that he will do his best, and that even if he stumbles, he will rise again. When a man feels this kind of trust, he feels empowered. He wants to rise to the occasion, to meet expectations, to show that he is worthy of the belief placed in him. Many people hold back trust because they are afraid. They worry that if they trust too much, they will be let down. They fear that if they rely on someone, they may be disappointed. But real trust is not about guarantees. It is about allowing someone to take responsibility and prove themselves. When a man is given that chance, he grows. He becomes more focused, more reliable, and more motivated to succeed, not just for himself, but for those who believe in him. Trust gives a man a sense of purpose. When he knows that others rely on him, he feels driven to do better. He wants to be someone who can be counted on. He wants to be strong, not because he has to, but because he chooses to. This is the kind of strength that does not come from force or power, but from responsibility and commitment. There is a difference between trusting blindly and trusting consciously. Blind trust ignores reality. It assumes that a man will never make mistakes, that he will never struggle, that he will always be perfect. But conscious trust is different. It understands that no one is perfect, but it chooses to believe in a man's ability to learn and grow. Conscious trust does not ignore flaws, it acknowledges them and still sees the good in a man. This kind of trust is powerful because it gives a man the space to be human while still inspiring him to be his best self. When a man is trusted, he feels respected. Respect is something that every man values deeply. He does not want to be controlled, doubted, or questioned at every turn. He wants to feel that his decisions matter, that his voice is heard, that he is seen as capable. When trust is given, it sends a message that says, I believe in you, I know you will do the right thing, I trust your judgment. This kind of affirmation gives a man confidence. It makes him stand taller, walk with purpose, and take on challenges with a stronger sense of determination. Trust also strengthens relationships. When a man is trusted, he feels connected. He does not feel the need to prove himself constantly because he knows that he is already valued. This allows him to open up, to be more honest, to share his thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment. When a man is trusted, he feels safe. And when he feels safe, he is able to give more of himself to those around him. Many relationships struggle because of a lack of trust. When trust is missing, doubt takes its place. Every action is questioned, every decision is second-guessed. This creates distance, making it hard for real connection to exist. But when trust is present, everything becomes easier. There is no need for constant reassurance or explanations. There is a sense of peace, of knowing that both people are working towards the same goals. Trust allows a man to step into his full potential. When he knows that he is trusted, he is more willing to take risks, to step up, to take charge. He does not hold back out of fear of failure. Instead, he moves forward with confidence because he knows that even if he stumbles, the trust placed in him will not disappear. A man who is trusted is a man who grows. He becomes better not because he is forced to, but because he wants to. Trust pushes him to be more responsible, more thoughtful, more focused. It makes him think about his actions, about how they affect others, about what kind of man he wants to be. Some people hesitate to trust because they fear being let down. But without trust, there is no real relationship. A man who is never trusted will never feel fully accepted. He will always feel like he is walking on unstable ground, like he has to prove himself over and over again. This can be exhausting, and over time, it can create resentment. But when he is trusted, he feels a sense of belonging. He knows that he is valued, and this makes him want to give his best. Trust does not mean ignoring mistakes. It does not mean accepting anything and everything without question. It means believing that a man is doing his best, that he is learning, that he is growing. It means supporting him even when things are not perfect. It means allowing him to take responsibility for his actions while still standing by his side. When a man is trusted, he feels inspired to become more. He does not take trust for granted. He understands that it is a privilege, something to be honored and respected. He wants to live up to the trust placed in him, to show that he is worthy of it. This motivation is powerful. It pushes him to be better not just for himself, but for those who believe in him. Trusting a man consciously means giving him the space to lead, to make decisions, to take on responsibility. It means allowing him to step into his role fully without holding him back with doubt or suspicion. It means seeing his strengths even when he has weaknesses. It means encouraging him, supporting him, believing in him. When a man is trusted, he does not feel the need to prove himself through force or control. He does not feel the need to demand respect. He earns it naturally because he knows he is valued. This creates a healthy, balanced dynamic where he can grow and flourish. A man who is never trusted may start to doubt himself. He may question his own abilities, his own decisions. He may feel like no matter what he does, it is never enough. But when he is trusted, he gains confidence. He starts to believe in himself because someone else believes in him. This belief fuels him, giving him the courage to take on challenges, to push forward, to aim higher. Trusting a man consciously does not just empower him, it transforms him. It allows him to step fully into his strength, to embrace his role, to lead with confidence. It makes him feel capable, respected, valued. And when a man feels this way, he becomes unstoppable. He rises to the occasion, he gives his best, he becomes the kind of man who is not only trusted, but who also inspires trust in others. In the end, trust is a choice. It is a decision to believe in someone, to see their potential, to support them in their journey. When a man is given this trust, he does not take it lightly. He carries it with him, using it as a source of strength, as a reminder that he is capable, that he is seen, that he is valued. And with that trust, he becomes the best version of himself. Trust is one of the most powerful forces in a man's life. It is not about expecting perfection or never making mistakes. It is about believing in his intentions, his ability to grow, and his commitment to doing his best. When a man is trusted, he feels empowered, motivated, and inspired to rise to the occasion. He no longer doubts himself because he knows that others believe in him. This trust gives him the strength to take on challenges, to lead with confidence, and to become the best version of himself. Trusting a man consciously means giving him the space to take responsibility, to learn, to improve. It allows him to feel valued, respected, and capable. When he knows that his efforts are recognized, he works even harder to honor that trust. He becomes more reliable, more focused, and more determined. This kind of trust transforms not only him but also the relationships around him. It creates deeper connections, stronger bonds, and a sense of security that allows both people to grow together. In the end, trust is not just a gift, it is an investment. When given consciously, it does not weaken but strengthens both the one who gives it and the one who receives it. It creates a cycle of growth, responsibility, and deeper understanding. A man who is trusted will always strive to prove himself worthy of it, not because he is forced to, but because he values the faith placed in him. And in that trust, he finds the power to become all that he is meant to be.